No. Mic was up. Game sound's up, isn't it? Yeah, maybe it's just a touch quiet. We'll try that. There we go. Well, as I was saying, we had a beautiful view of the nebula there and the station bar. We're here on the Distant Suns out on Distant Worlds 3, and we're going to take a Kestrel out and do some exploration in it. I just got it painted up a nice funky green. So we'll take that out for a spin. We are still at waypoint 5 right now. And I think what I'm going to do here is head for the Void Sea, because that looked like an awful lot of fun. Apparently there's a number of NSPs and other strange things out there to find. So we're going to head that way, and then we'll, if I make it there and have other things I need to do, I'll probably head on out to the Science Waypoint, and then hitch a ride on the carrier out to Waypoint 6 towards the end of the week. We'll see how it turns out. We'll take a quick look here and see what I've done to this thing. I did cobble it together. I've only got, so many modules out here with me on DW3, so naturally it's got a heatsink launcher. Might have actually been better in this case to have had it lightweighted, but I didn't. All of mine are ammo capacity. I did lightweight the armor. We're running a Guardian Power D standard thrusters. We're not running the fancy Mark II ones on this, and they're only clean grade 2. 4A frame shift, that's increased range grade 4 and deep charge. D-rated life support 4A power distributor. That's charge enhanced. I would like to have done a 3. If I had a 3 that was grade 5 engine focused, I could have probably got away with it. But as it stands, it's either the 4A or a 5E. And then, of course, the scanners for optionals. Got a booster in there, of course, fuel scoop. You kind of have to choose whether you want to do a shield or an AFMU. I generally prefer an AMFU. AFMU. Get that in the right order there. Repair limpets, because I have to carry cargo anyways. I've got that brandy on board. Thank you, Mobius Ace, for running that 65,000 light years to me. And then I've got my junk scanner on here. It's only grade 3. That's not a problem, Pete. That's the proper way to do it. When I get back, I'll have one that's a combat build for sure, and I'll keep tweaking this because I've gotten this up to 61 light years on EDSY and Coriolis. As you can see, this one is sitting at just a shade under 50 and 52 on fumes, so not ideal for distance travel, but not terrible. I think it'll work out just fine for my style. And I'm not going to take on any limpets. If we need them, I will send them. It's just the way it is. I will say, even without the Mark II thrusters on it, it's still really snappy. And if you boost on the vertical thrust and stuff, which I feel like they made a big deal about when they were writing up the release notes and stuff. But as you can see here, I mean, it's still, that's up. That's not forward. Just, it still does that, even with the regular thrusters. All ships do. It's just a matter of how aggressive it is, I guess. But it certainly gets the job done. So, we need to target the bookmark, because I didn't do that earlier. Where are we going? Void Sea. And 60 jump sounds about right. I'm not going to neutron it. This thing is horrible as a neutron jumper, by the way. For anybody that hasn't tried it, it gets tossed around and it really chews up the FSD quite quickly, I feel like. I feel like it's more than your standard 1%. And as you can see, looking down at the fuel meter here, these big jumps really do cut into that fuel. But that's okay. The scooping hasn't been awful in the testing I've done. I suppose if you were less concerned about range, you could always dial it back and use a 4H booster and a 5A fuel scoop. But honestly, it's not meant for buckyballing and long distance travel. One, it's a combat ship, and if you're using it as an explorer, you're probably stopping to smell the roses. You're not bothered by a few extra moments fuel scooping, so we'll duck in here and get some. And just for argument's sake, I'm going to do what I do in the Caspian. I'm just going to follow the arc around, keeping the scoop at max. The Caspian would have done topped off by now. And as you can see, oh, no, it did it. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you don't quite get a full tank by the time you've lined up with your next target. That's not always the case, though. I will take what I can get. But like I said, if you don't quite get it, especially doing you're doing more economical routing, it's really not bad. You get exploration buddy up here. Oh, it's all confused because I didn't plot the route before I had it. Let's go there. Now replot, so exploration buddy can get on board with what we're doing. Alright. It doesn't seem to think this system's discovered, but I don't think that's quite right. Yeah, 54 is not a bad place to be, Pete. I really just put mine together with spare parts like Frankenstein. I cannibalized my Cobra 5, my Viper 3, and some other things to collect all the bits and pieces that went on this thing, because I'm way out here in the boonies. When I get back, I will properly engineer it up. But honestly, I don't know that it's necessary. I mean, 50 light years, that'll get you to Beagle Point, if we're being realistic. Yeah, see, this has all been discovered. Why is exploration buddy jerking me around here? It's supposed to tell me. I do like the Super Cruise overcharge in this. I found it very stable and pretty efficient on fuel, I thought. Maybe not efficient in comparison to other ships, but in terms of its burn rate for an Explorer, I thought it was very reasonable. Certainly better than any of my Gen 1 ships, as expected. I do not have a Mandalay with me, so I've been kind of struggling, especially when streaming. I don't mind all that much, you know, waiting 15 minutes to get somewhere. I'll set it up, hit Super Cruise Assist, and go make a cup of coffee or something. But it doesn't make for very entertaining viewing if you're just on your way out. Yeah, you do have to watch the fuel tank, especially in SCO, because it is smaller. And even just jumping, I mean, if you look down at that next jump queued up there, that gets me down to below 3/4. You find yourself in a T-Tari desert. That can get you in trouble in a hurry. At least with the ASP or something, you know, you had 8-9 jumps usually before you got into that territory, and it's really more like 4 or 5 with the Kestrel. It does require a little bit of babysitting, mentally speaking, but it's not terrible. I am exceedingly grateful that this expedition has slowed down. It was very breakneck speed to start with, which I understand it was meant to be. The expectation was that you rode the carrier, and I don't make a very good carrier princess. I like to jump around and explore and go hunt biology, and it's really hard to do that. on a carrier. Especially when there's some 8,000 people on the carriers with you. You know, as soon as you land in a destination, everything for a couple jumps out is snapped up already. You got to work a little bit. But we seem to have gotten into a rhythm here, and that suits me just fine. I'm more than happy to do half the travel in a week, you know, 3,500 light years-ish a week. That's pretty comfortable, I think. Nothing too notable there. Nothing worth going and mapping, certainly. So we'll mosey on. I do like this paint job. This is the Primacy Green, if I remember right. I believe I got the Primacy Green and either the Primacy Orange or the other orange. I really like the look of both of them. So I figured I would put the green on the Explorer and the orange on the one for combat, or hell, I don't know, maybe the green ends up being an AX ship, I don't know. I've never done AX. That's something eventually I would like to give a tangle to. Obviously not right now, because we're out on DW3 and they're in a Thargoid for 50,000 light years. Got a K-class. Maybe we'll bump into an Earth-like or something here. I do need to get away from the K-classes. I have found all of the lime and green Tectonica I will ever need. And I would very much appreciate having a different color, but they are star determinant, so if you don't find a different star color, you're not going to find a different color of that particular plant. Good. But, you know, you'll find them eventually. A lot of green, a lot of turquoise, a lot of lime. I just don't seem to find a lot of high metal bodies on other star types. They're almost always MK or G, it seems. Might get a wild hair and do a voxel search at some point out here. Haven't done one of those since Apollo 14, at least not more than 2 or 3 systems worth. I made it through about 100 systems on one I started over there. And it was less about finding anything in any sort of targeted manner and more about learning how to voxel search, so that was quite alright. I think if we end up on another spiral arm out where the metallicity is a little higher, I might give that a go. Just see if I can hunt myself down a green gas giant one of these days. Hey, Delta Creator, welcome in. Lurk away. I do an awful lot of lurking at myself. Let's see, that's 2 bios on an icy. These are all ices. And of course the high metal content had nothing. Oh, wait, there's hope. Nope. Hopes and dreams dashed. What have we got here? Rocky and icy. Perhaps it'll be an actual rocky ice body. Icy. Icy. Yeah, I finally got the camera set up and working. That was my pet project for today. I actually had one, so this is a funny story, right? Because I used to do videos, and of course I had a webcam to do that with. And I had it somewhere, so I thought. I forgot. I had actually cannibalized it for a 3D printing project. So I was looking all over for this webcam, couldn't find it. Ended up having to order one. And then it took me, oh, I don't know, probably an hour, close to an hour, to get it to work right. Little beknownst to me, there were privacy settings in Windows that were not letting OBS see it. Yeah, I know, Delta. Welcome in, by the way. I do come by it honestly. It's pretty well all white at this point. Mustache is the right color. I just wish the beard was. I did try to dye it once. That I'll never do it again. Let's just say that. Everyone around me thought it looked better. I think it looked like I smeared baby shit in my beard and walked out of the house with it. We'll never do that again. No, man, that is what a couple years of management in aviation security will get you. Or just a couple of years in management, period. I cannot recommend strongly enough that people stay away from that. Management's horrible. Especially lower management, because you got all the people in middle management. And for the most part, they exist only to gripe. As far as I can tell, very few of them have actual work to do. So, have you played with the Kestrel yet, Delta? I know you were talking about getting one. Are you going to demo it to yourself, or are you going to save that for stream? Because I have been having a ton of fun trying to find a worthwhile planet to take her down on here. But I've gone with the lime green for mine. At least for the moment. I got the orange one too. The paint jobs for this ship look really good. Honestly, even the default color that I had in the thumbnail looks really good. Oh, man. You got more willpower than me. Oh, that's pretty. I think we're going to have to go over there and take a screenshot of that. I don't think gas giants get nearly the love they deserve. They can't all be green gas giants. Hey, Trank. I do actually have commands set up for Pete, if they're working. Give it a try, Delta. It'd be PSB. See if Streamlabs is cooperating, but I doubt it. Tea and sweets? That sounds good. Just now realizing I forgot to grab another bottle of water. So I guess I'll be rolling without. Oh, there's one more hiding in there. Come on. Hey! Streamlabs is awake. Holy crap. Awesome. Delta, yours is D1. Just plain old D1. Oh, wow. The gas giants in this system are dramatic, and I like it. There's really not enough love for that. Everyone wants to find the Earth-likes and the water worlds. I'm telling you, the gas giants are where the textures are shining. Very good. Yeah, I don't blame you. Certainly, she's been out of town. I'm sure you missed each other's company. I spent the day racing back to the carriers in this here Kestrel, which was no small feat. And then had to go move a couch, pulled a bunch of the muscles. It's actually, I'm having a lot of trouble yawing my ship because the rotation, the way I'm holding the stick here, is making things a little tender. But I figure I might as well get used to that because I'll be dealing with it all day tomorrow carrying now. So I might as well get on it. Oh, it's all about the natural light. It's the only way to go. Alright, I want to go look at that first gas giant, because that thing was good looking. I don't think I've got cruise assist on this, though. Pretty sure I didn't have the room. Pretty sure I was right. How about that? Oh, the natural light jokes are going to go on and live in infamy. I'm actually going to go in and clip that and make a short out of it, I think. That's just too funny not to. We're going to noob loop in a Kestrel. That's what I get for sitting here yapping instead of paying attention. That's alright, we'll get a flyby of this sexy, sexy gas giant. Look at that blue banding. I have not seen the new waypoint, but I did bookmark it. Is there something particularly spectacular about it? I've never actually been in this region of space. So for Apollo 14, when we came out, we actually stuck really close to the core. We were in this like ring here. So we came up kind of around here, looped our way around, and then cut back fairly close to the galactic center before heading back to Colonia. So this outer region up here to the north and east, I've never been in. So everything up here is pretty new. Oh, it is. So I'm headed to the Void Sea, which is one of the POIs they mentioned. It's got some NSPs and apparently some kind of space floating life. I don't know. I could only think of that Next Generation episode where they go out and they find GOM2 or whatever, the big floating beetle-looking spaceship. The science waypoint is a little bit to the west here, over in Drutuia, and then waypoint 6, which will be the eventual goal for week's end, is kind of headed south, which is good. We're heading into the Galactic Center. This is going to be interesting to see when we get over there, because that looks really wicked in the map. So I can't imagine just how good it's going to look. I understand why they chose an opposing system, because that's going to look really cool in the skybox. It is in the opposite direction. Yeah, the mollusk. Yep, yeah, that's mollusk. That is, in fact, what I am going to go see. Apparently there are several types, and quite a lot of instances of them, so I'm hoping I can discover one for myself. We will see. The visibility out of this is pretty darn good. It's hard to complain about. Your up and side views are great. Obviously, you're not going to see much looking for biology, but honestly, this thing is so short and stubby. By the time it's out of your view screen, you're on top of it. Just park. So I've had no trouble hunting down biology in it. Oh, that is just gorgeous. I love that. I want a picture of that without the ship even in it. Oh, yeah. That right there is wallpaper fodder. And we've got those nice two distinct rings. The A ring and B ring are very distinctly different from one another. I love it when that happens. Some of them you can't even tell there's two rings there till you go to scan it. Not the case here. We'll, of course, get the Kestrel in one, because who takes a Kestrel out exploring? Only a madman. Alright, the other one was neat looking, but not neat enough to fly to. It was kind of cookie dough. Well, I don't. It is neat enough to fly to, but I've got plenty of screenshots of these. Actually, you know what? I don't know that I have any where the planet matches the A ring that well. That's pretty fascinating in and of itself. We'll move on. I would really like to Find some biology to hunt down. Oh yeah, I messed up my plotting, didn't I? No, I didn't. That's the right spot. Moving on up. Or at least moving out. Don't suppose there's a reason to have anything in systems. I took the shields off. It is a coffee gas giant. Either coffee or Rocky Road ice cream. I can never determine which one. Moose tracks, maybe. Thank God we don't have to name them. I honestly detest when a game makes you give things a name. Because eventually you're going to run out. Like I used to upload quite a bit of my landscape photography. And it doesn't matter where you put it, you know, all these photography sharing sites, they all want you to title it like it's, you know, some piece by Michelangelo or something. Like, get out of here. It's a picture of a cherry blossom tree. I've got 15 of them. And if you search cherry blossom tree, you're going to find 15 that look just like it with the same title. So why do I even need to title it? Just let me post it, let people enjoy it, and let's move on with our lives. It's a tree. It's pink. You're welcome. But I digress. I'll get off my soapbox. My cherry blossom colored soapbox. Metal rich. And if we don't hit a metal rich, there's certainly some high metal content. So maybe some tectonicas here. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I've forgotten, and now I'm here. I'm really getting tired of the green ones, so I need to, you know what, I'm just going to do it now before I forget. The FSS will still be here. It will not, in fact, be going anywhere. That's the system map, you dingbat. Alright. I do not want K, G, or M. I don't think I want F either. I should double check that real quick. Because I don't recall. And for anyone out there who is really into biology, certain that this will let me do it. Did it actually change? Yeah, I guess we'll see in a minute. Too many screens, too many screens. What is the purpose of what? Changing the star filter? Oh yeah, just working on this. Yes, so the Let's go back over there real quick. Tectonicus, before even the 100 mil doesn't lure you down anymore. I am. Yeah, I was talking. Oh, I believe I see what happened here. Yep. I forgot to put a mic on my browser screen. So, to recap, the color is a variant that is determined by the stellar body it's in orbit of. So in order to find colors other than green, turquoise, or lime, I'm going to have to go to non-fuel type stars. Because when you look at Canon, it shows that all the other variants occur on non-sequence stars. So I will have to remember. In fact, I'm gonna... Oh, YouTube's even griping at me because it couldn't hear me either. How about that? Small wonders never cease. Okay. Let's go in here, add audio input capture. That one will do. So that should now include a microphone. So you should be able to hear me now. But yeah, that's what we were looking at, is the determinant class is changed by the stellar class. Or the variant is determined by the stellar class. Good lord. Too many words. Still can't hear me when I'm on the browser screen? If that's the case, I will sort that out later. Because it looks in OBS like that should be working now, but that doesn't mean it is working now. It just means OBS says it is. Okay. Awesome possum. Hey, there's two biologies there. We know what that means. That means Murdoch just made a cool 100 mil. I know Delta Creator is lurking, Trank, so she may be not watching in real time necessarily. That happens to me quite frequently for whatever reason. Especially if I'm in Discord talking to Delta and I've got it muted. I'll not realize how far behind I am in the actual video until I go over to watch him finish up or something and realize I'm still 10 minutes or whatever from the end of the stream and he's already done. It's easy to do. Cool it. Don't need to do 2 noob loops in a row. That'd be kind of silly. That is my only complaint, is that I don't have room for Super Cruise Assist. And honestly, if I were building out a pure exploration ship and I wasn't hauling around a ton of brandy, I would probably give up my limpets, my repair limpets, and my cargo, and take a second AFMU and Super Cruise Assist instead. Or shield in an AFMU. That would probably be the more likely choice there. Well, I won't find one here because this is a scoopable star. I think. Yeah, it's an M. So this one is going to be lime, if I remember correctly. I did finally go change my HUD. The rainbow probes were driving me crazy. I need to go in and change it again, though, because those are bright. Yeah, we bump into a lot of them. I mean, part of it's just safe travel practice, right? You generally run looking for scoopable stars because we're 60,000 light years out. It's a pain in the ass to get fuel. But unfortunately, you're only going to get the 3 green colors around scoopable stars, and some scoopable stars, the K, O, and what was the other one? F, maybe? F or G. One of the other scoopable stars, it doesn't generate around at all. I will have to go on a very purposeful hunt to find the one around a brown dwarf, because I just hate L-type stars. The deep fiery passion. Let's see if we can see this planet in natural light. Don't suppose it'll bless us with some features to race around? Maybe. Doesn't look terrible. Better not be too much of a hotshot here. I am running without shields. On the bright side, the bacterium and stuff being lime makes it exceptionally easy to see. Yeah. Well, they're low light systems to start with. I mean, even never mind the fact that they're a pain to transition into because they've got that big exclusion zone and they're just so dim. I think my colony up in LBN is around a brown dwarf. I think. That is the one I'm thinking of. Brown dwarf or a T-Tari? It is a T brown dwarf, yeah. The T's aren't nearly as bad as the L's. The L's are miserable to come into, but the T's are even dimmer, so 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess. Oh, that's good. I came out okay. I come out about 500 million on my run back from the green gas giant, which wasn't terrible. I only hit that one system, and I did kind of cherry pick it. 7.4 billion. Yeah, Ys are the worst. Well, Ys aren't the worst. White dwarfs are the worst, but Ys are a very close, much less useful second. Of course, I guess it depends on what you're looking for. I'm sure there are a number of anomalies that can only be found around L-type stars. I'll find them someday. After Raxla. After Raxla and a green gas giant. I'm not gonna run everywhere. What am I doing? I do frequently run everywhere when I'm not streaming. It's a sickness. Poor old Jim here, with his spine fused to his cockpit seat most of the time. He gets out on a planet and he's just got to go run marathons. He can't help himself. I will say, the way the ship is designed, if you look at some ships, when they land versus when they deploy an SRV, especially if they were ships that were around before SRVs, like the Diamondback. It sits really low on its landing gear, and if you look at it when you've deployed an SRV, it's hiked up like it's sitting on off-road jacks. They look ridiculous. And this one does not change. They designed it from the ground up that it is high enough to provide the clearance needed to get an SRV in and out. But for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why some of them do it, because the Asp does it, the Diamondback does it. Trying to think of another one that's like super obvious about it. I mean, but even the Cobra does it. The Cobra 5. So I don't know. I thought for a while the rhyme and reason was that they were old ships, pre-Horizons, and were never meant to have an SRV base stuffed under them, and then kind of blew my own theory out of the water. Oh yeah, out of the brown dwarves, they are by far the worst. Oh, why do I always forget? I always forget the first day of the, or first time out of the session to crank up the engine on the SRV. Uh-oh. Wasn't my most graceful landing ever. Now that I've decided to start with bacterium, I won't find any. Whoa. Wait, we're really flying here. I think I've been hanging around Delta too long. Starting to pick up his driving habits. There's a bacteria. 1,700 meters away from the first one. I need to turn up to a waypoint in time to run one of the races. Oh, there she goes. See me tilt my head to look up at the ship departing like I was in VR? That's awful. Oh yeah. I just forget I've got this all screwed up. Yeah, depending on how I feel, sometimes I'll just use the ship. I do really enjoy going around and hamming it up on planets, though, on how I feel. I did a bunch of running around earlier today. I did most of that big system with the 26 bios I did on foot. I'm going to make some changes here. I hate to do this because it's going to make ED Copilot really mad at me at some juncture when I go to use it. But honestly, right now it just makes my life a whole lot easier. So I will rebind them when ED Copilot yells at me. There we go. Now we're in business. Handbrake is on. Alright. You should use the SRV more. It's a lot of fun. I'm really hoping, against all hope, that vessels means that at some point we're going to get an exploration-focused SRV. Because that vehicle is not a Scarab. That I can assure you. At least not the current Scarab. I would even be okay if it wasn't nearly as fat. You know, if like this was the top speed of the exploration rover, I'd be okay with that. I kind of like when I'm not, you know, just trying to hammer out biology. I like to just kind of plod along a little more realistically, you know, and do my exploration that way. But I would love to have. They don't even have to make it fancy, as long as it does that. If I could do that from the cockpit, I would be ecstatic. Yeah, but the problem with Frutexa is you also usually can't drive where they are either. I had, what was it I had earlier? It was a Frutexa and an Aleoida that were in just a god-awful mountainous region that was in that big system, and thankfully I was already on foot, so it didn't matter. I had one that had 6 bios, and I knocked them all out on foot from 2 different landing areas, which I thought was pretty good. I got most of them in the crater, and I got, forgot about that. So always, when you finish a sample, if you are using the SRV, it's usually not a problem with the ship, because it takes you a little longer to get back to it. But when you finish your last sample, wait until it's recognized and the guy or your character burns off the canister. Otherwise, you won't get the credit. And you'll get out of your SRV or out of your ship to scan something later, and the minute you get out and pull the tool out, he'll pull off the canister and destroy something, and you won't have a clue what it was. I mean, you'll still get the credit and eventually be able to collect the money, but just a good practice to let the animation finish first. You can get a bit closer. I don't know why my ED Buddy HUD is not cooperating. I do have it up. I'm looking at it down on my third screen there, but for whatever reason, it's not hanging out on the screen where it belongs. Alright, one more and we're in the Space Jetta. Some of which is going to end up going into the squad bank still, because we've got to pay for upkeep on that shiny... Wow! That was unpleasant. You got to pay for upkeep on that shiny new squad carrier. And I know we want to get some loaner ships put in there for folks. And they don't come cheap. I realized I don't really need to funnel too much more into my own carrier. It's sitting at 1.7 billion. I was having a panic attack thinking it was real low, but the fact was it was all tied up in the market. And the minute I sold everything off and cleared the market to jump it, it was perfectly well funded once more. 8's a good number to shoot for. Actually, honestly, you may have gotten by with 6 or 6.5 these days, because the 7 is the traditional recommendation, right? Because that means you can buy your carrier, you can put, your first couple of modules in it, and then you can afford to buy fuel. That was always a stipulation of it. But honestly, 3 trips in a T11 and you've got a full tank. Like, when you buy it, it'll come with half a tank of fuel in it. It'll have 500 tritium. So, 2 trips and you can top it off almost. The T11 really changes the carrier game. Especially when it comes to, like, being able to take them out in deep space. Because now you really aren't... You don't have to worry about fuel as much. You can jump on an ARA, look up a hotspot, and go take care of business. And that is wonderful. I am excited to do some deep space surveying. With my own carrier. Obviously, that's currently what I'm doing. I love this atmosphere. I wish I could remember what it is. Let's see what Buddy has to say. Sulfur dioxide. Thin sulfur dioxide. I do like it. I really like the carbon dioxide one, too. It gives you that crisp black, almost black blue. It's an absolutely... Well, here, I can just gradient my way up. It's kind of like that. Only at horizon level, and it just gets darker as it goes up. Yeah, I could see that. Cartographics, Vista, and the bar, that would cover pretty much everything. Unless you are taking people with you, that would cover everything you need out in deep space, because as the owner, you're going to get shipyard and outfitting. I have recently realized it's going to be nothing short of a nightmare to get all of my ships and modules off the DW carriers at the end of it, because I'm already losing track of what is where just between the 4 of their own carriers, so I'm literally going to have to go through every category and just look and see what systems, you know, I won't be able to park Herschel in the same system when I go to pull them all back. I'm going to have to park like one system over and just eat the cost, because otherwise I'll never be able to tell what's on which carrier. It's absolute madness. Oh, that's a Type L. They just did me dirty. Yeah, it's a Y. Woo! I did not get fuel. We'll get fuel eventually. Sometime in the next 2 jumps, or I'll be hurting. Let's get away from that thing and get a scan on. Hopefully one of those 7 bodies is a high metal content. That would be very much ideal. I must have bopped the ground, or maybe the auto-landing computer did, because I see my hull's down to 97. That is not as it should be. I do find the Kestrel to be okay for exploration, though. Obviously, it's great for planetary landings. You can get it anywhere. It is a bit narrower than the Cobra 5, which I find sometimes can be a little wide in the rear end to try and land, especially in the mountainous regions. No dice on our high metal contents. I don't remember if repair and refuel and rearm are available to the carrier owner or not, because those were 3 services I immediately installed. So I had those from the minute I bought the carrier. So honestly, I don't know. We can test that. No, we can't, because I'm all the way out here. I was going to say I could just turn it off and then try it with Astrid later and check, but Astrid doesn't own the carrier. So I would have to land on my own carrier. So that's a good question. I would say install those myself, especially since your plan is to take your carrier out into deep space. It's just a good courtesy to other fellow travelers to have, if nothing else, the ability to land, repair, refuel, rearm, sell their data, move on. Yeah, you may. As I recall, they're not super expensive. I feel like those are 3 of the cheaper ones, and they don't take up a ton of space either. I think we got us a fuel star. This thing does run a little warm. Obviously here in witch space we're sitting at 51. And I can't always get a full... Like, I can always get a full load of fuel without overheating, because I don't typically let the tank get that low. But sometimes I like to screw around in a menu while I'm fueling, and I have been sitting there doing that and heard, you know, in the back of my mind, hey, you're getting a little warm there, bud. Also, welcome into all my lurkers. I see we've got quite a few people out there watching. Do hit the like button if you enjoy what you see. It does help me get a little more coverage out there. Kind of lets me know that I'm doing something right. Not too worried about doing it right, though. I say do something even if it's wrong. So let's take a peek. Refuel. Yeah, I don't remember what the installation cost was, but it's only costing $1.5 million a week. Repair's the same. Armory's the same. In contrast to something like, oh no, I guess Vista's the same. Maybe they're all at. What's the, yeah, okay, the shipyard's got awful expensive, as is outfitting. Most other things aren't too bad, though. Yeah, I'm not sure. You could always ask in the Discord. Andy or Delta may know the answer to that. I installed repair, refuel, and rearm when I bought the thing and never looked back, so it didn't even cross my mind. I probably shouldn't do a whole bunch of that, since I'm jumping through stars potentially that don't let me fuel. Oh, we haven't even honked yet. Must be losing my touch. Could have saved myself a whole screen's worth of time if I'd have done that the right way. It's alright, we'll get there. So have you thought about where you want to take this carrier? I know you want to take it out. Oh, so that's not bad. 600 million with yeah, almost 700 million in modules. That's really not a terrible expense. And realistically, like, I like to keep $1 billion in mind for upkeep because I'm prone to just step away from the game sometimes. But before I installed everything, my carrier upkeep was like 7 million a week. So at $1 billion, I had quite literally a year's worth of upkeep in there, and then some. Like, I didn't even have to worry about it. Yeah, 14.6 isn't terrible. I know where I'm taking Herschel when I get back, and it's a secret. You know where I'm taking it, Drank. But I'm not going to publicize that until I've been down there and seen what's there. I want to know why that little cluster is the way it is. Well, we got high metals, but this is a scoopable system, so they're going to be the same color. Yet again. And I'll take the money. I'm not going to turn it down. Money's always good. Or Stellar Forge could just laugh at me and say, no money for you. I'll take a terraformable. I won't turn that down either. I was hoping to find some weird biology. I've seen Aleoida before, but it had been a long time. Like, I walked up to the plant, and that was when I realized it was there, because I wasn't really paying attention to Buddy. And I said, huh, because I've only found probably 10 of those. I don't know that they're all that uncommon. I think it's just a case of I haven't found very many of them. One biology on a high metal content. That could go a couple of ways. Alright, let's hit terraformable first, get that knocked out. I would start thinking about a location, and it does depend on what you want to do. If you want to do like a sector survey and you want to stay busy at it for a while, somewhere closer to the core is kind of the way to go. That gives you a lot of meat to chew on. Stay out of the suppression cross, obviously. There's nothing fun inside there. It's all just boring main sequence stars. This is why I need Super Cruise Assist. I have got over 2,000 hours in this game, 400,000 light years, and I still forget not to new bloop it. There's a song for that one too. It's right up there with Don't Forget Your Limpets. And there is a reason for it. Can I help you, dog? Don't act like you don't get loved. Nobody's gonna believe that. Not a soul. Hey. You wanna say hi? Wanna say hi? Yeah? Oh no, you're not quite in frame. You're gonna have to get taller. I'm sorry. Yeah. Come on, get down. Oh, can't live with him, can't live without him. I miss that commercial. Why don't we run good commercials anymore? We used to have the Owl and the Tootsie Pop. It was just a good, wholesome commercial. Now we don't have those. They're all lawsuit chasing ambulance chasers or trying to sell you some drug. Alright, now out of curiosity, I do want to know what the one biology is over here, because I have found cases where one biology turns out to be a stratum. Not very often, and I wish I'd bothered to take note of other things so I would know why it did that, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead. That gravity well is something else. Let's get out of that. Skybox is getting fuller. That's what I like to see. Yeah. I will never cease to be amazed by the fact that no matter what drug they're advertising, the side effects are invariably worse than whatever it is it's supposed to make better. I can't imagine where they feel like that's going to work. I mean, I'm sure it does. They stay in business, and they make a hell of a lot of money. Way more than they deserve. So I guess it's worth it to somebody. I'm one of those people, if Tylenol or ibuprofen don't solve it, I'm probably just going to learn to live with it. I'm also going to new bloop it again. Shocker. But at least I get to see the planet in natural light. And on the bright side, it's not any great chore to turn around a Kestrel and Super Cruise. It handles beautifully. Oh, I'm going 2 for 2. I'm on fire tonight. Right, well, at least let's do this, and then we'll end up facing the lit side of the planet. There we go. Oh, that's cool. Big glacial patch or something on there. Don't see a ton of that. Ah, you dirty dog. I'm going to hold off on that last probe and see if that gets me where I'm going. The gremlins in my joystick decided to fire 2 at once. That's bacterium. Don't think I'll be going to hunt that. A bigger fish to fry. I can find the direction they're in. Ah, they're in the direction of the galactic disk. That makes sense. When you're on the outside, going in, that tracks. Go on to another primary star. There's got to be other stars here. Hold the phone. Stop the presses. I don't think that filter's actually working the way I want it to. Where are you? Tell me your secrets. Okay, you're a Y. I could have gone there. Why did you take me to a fuel star instead of there? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the waypoint. We're going to cancel the waypoint. Then we're going to go to Pilot's Fed. Make sure the filter is the way I want it. It is. Now we're going to replot. Now you're taking me to a non-fuel star. Hey, double tap, welcome in. And thanks, I appreciate that. That's alright, I can return the favor. If it's still working. It was working earlier, I was amazed. Let's see if Streamlabs still loves me. I'm not having a whole lot of faith. Nope. It worked for Delta. Maybe that's the trick here. And there are no high metals here. Oh, we've all got content, even if it's just our liked playlist. That's not to be underrated. I honestly can't hardly keep track of who is creator and who isn't a creator. Need a list. There's somebody else that I constantly think is a content creator and isn't, and I cannot remember who it is. You are not the only one. Oh, missed one. Back it up. Stop. There we go. I didn't miss one, I missed two. I'm on fire tonight. New blooping, missing scans, not being on point with the FSS. We're all over the place. Better luck next system. Maybe I just don't have a command for you then. Maybe I wasn't crazy when I made him. Let's try Delta and see if his works. Yeah, I guess I'm not crazy. I'm only crazy now. I wasn't crazy when I set up Streamlabs. That's the moral of the story. I had it together at one point, just not this point. Also, if you're watching, go check out Delta 1. Way better streamer than I am. He doesn't have it together. He's never on time, and he is constantly trying to kill himself. But he never seems to succeed. I am the only one in our group so far to crash on Distant Worlds. In grand spectacle. If you're going to go nose first into a planet, you should absolutely do it in an Asp Explorer. That way you can see every inch, 300 degrees of what is coming. That big, beautiful glass canopy. See, this is why I don't think I found those other colors. I think it's fairly rare to find high metal contents in these non-sequence star groups. Rockies are pretty common. Ices are really common, but I don't know that high metal's all that common. Well, Streamlabs is always me. It's been hating my guts for about a week now. I don't know what I did to it. I don't... I thought I was nice to it. I mean, I gave it commands, I set it up, I logged into it. I did all the things it asked me to do. It just wasn't happy. And it wasn't just on my channel, it was hating me on everyone's channel. Of course, it was being ill-cooperative on everyone's channel, too. As far as I know, no. That is a question for Canon, though. Canon says they do spawn on Rockies, so it is possible. They do high metal content and rocky. Atmosphere has to be ammonia, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, or water. And it has to be less than 0.62 Gs. Other than that, it's kind of wide open. So yeah, they can generate on Rockies. Apparently. And I have, now that I think about it, I have found them on Rockies. It's just not as common. Like, you gotta get the patterns in your head. Like, I know if I scan a high metal content, it's only got 2 bios 100% of the time. If one of them is a stratum tectonicus. So you just, especially when you're on the money grind, it's really easy to get stuck in that and just look for that. But that doesn't mean that's the only one out there. As an explorer, I should definitely do better about ignoring those impulses. Especially now that we've got a squad carrier and we're kind of starting to get funded up, you know, the grind. I can back off the grind a little bit. Not that I mind doing it. I'm out here anyways. I might as well make money about it. I know I'm excited, though, to do a little bit of colonizing for a change. Which is wild, because I can only do so many space trucking hauls. But I did, as I said, after I claimed that huge system with Astrid, that I was going to do a small system in the new Delta Squadrant, as I've been calling it. TM, patent pending, all those good things. And then I went last night and found one that's got like 40 some odd slots, and that's what I claimed, so. It is a sickness. Oh, this was just the star. What are you doing, Murdoch? A silver bulb-looking thing. That sounds like an Alioida. Let's visit the Codex. I love the Codex. Honestly, does anybody really know what to do with colonization? Nobody knows. Bulb-looking thing. I think you know what a concha is, so I'm going to assume it wasn't a concha. Although it could be. Not a concha. The Alioidas look like a succulent plant of some type. Ooh. I would love to find some Electricae. I found one of these on A14. I think it was that one. They're wild looking, though. Oh, that is weird. Is that even... Oh, yeah. Oh, those are weird. Those are funky. Especially that variation. Wish it would let you... Just let me blow up the picture. No, it doesn't. Wild. I don't know that I've ever scanned a single one of those. There are also ice crystals in this region. I definitely want to see those. Oh, and they come in all the colors of the rainbow. I think some of those are where we're going, but I'm not sure. Apparently we have a crystalline shards available. There's a lot of biologies here that I haven't scanned. Like I've never scanned a Recepta, ever. Just never found one. I've never scanned a Fumarola either. I've scanned a Fumarole, but not a Rolla. Is there a Rollo? Is it full of caramel? Is it covered in chocolate? We'll never know. And pretty much all these at the top. I mean, I've found crystalline shards, but none of these 6, so. It's under geology and anomalies. Anything different there? Yeah. I wish they would expand the geology. Like, you can only see so many geysers. And they all graphically look very much the same. It's really kind of a disservice. I did not find mine in Alliance territory. Mine was, or did I find mine? I'm sure I could go back and look at the screenshot and tell you exactly where it was. I want to say it was on the last leg, though. It was towards the end of the expedition. So it was either on top of the core or like somewhere off to the side. This side, from your perspective, going back down to Colonia. The jokes in Discord about those things abounded, though. More rocky and icy. Well, I guess I could get lucky. I guess there is a chance that I find a rocky that has a Tectonicus. Completely blanking out on the criteria. Neon was not one of the atmospheres, though, so that's not a stratum. That has no atmosphere. I gotcha. I haven't seen a lot of things on this expedition, probably because the first 100,000 light years were just booking butt across the galaxy. I'm so glad we slowed down. I was really at my wit's end there by the time we got to Beagle. I was ready to park my butt on a carrier and not budge until we slowed down. Which is saying something, because I've done a lot of travel. No stratum. Okay, we can make that jump. I'm going to have to deviate off route or add some more fuel stars to the filter, one or the other. Because I'm going on to jump 5, and it's telling me my next fuel star is jump number 11 on Buddy. And I'm going to be out of fuel way before then, so I guess I'm going to have to do a little deviating here. Realistically, this kind of exploring is not the job for the Kestrel. Kestrel is good for the lazy jump from point A to point B, kind of a nice leisurely pace, discover whatever you bump into. That's the kind of exploration this ship's going to be good for. Voxel searching, trying to run a specific hunt of some kind, maybe not so much. Of course, I guess it depends, if you pay better attention than I do. If Delta tries this, he will 100% be out of fuel, I guarantee it. He is so bad about watching fuel sometimes. More tea. Get a glass for me. I could use a bit of tea. Or coffee.
System scan complete.
Alright. Let's go find a fuel star. Stop it. Joystick gremlins, strike again. It's pretty close to route. I'll take that. And while I'm in here... See, I've already got 3 types in there. O, B, and A. Stratum does not fall on at all. So I'm going to get rid of those. F, K, and M it does. I'm going to leave M out because it is so dense. If I leave M in the filter, that'll be the only thing we jump to. So we'll go here, get fuel, then we'll replot to the Void Sea or whatever they call it. I think that was right, Void Sea. We'll see. We'll see the Void Sea. Oh yeah, I need to repair. Keep forgetting to do that. This time I'm down on a planet, not a super cruise. That'll be the time for that kind of nonsense. I still don't know where those 3% went. The only thing I could think is when the ship took off on that last planet I landed on. I guess when it came back down when I recalled it, it must have bumped. Sometimes Otto's just a little drunk. Alright, let's replot. That's looking way better in the route plan. That gives me... Okay, yeah, that's a good mix. That gives me some T's, some Y's, fuel stars every couple shot. That I can deal with. That I can make work. Oh yeah, we're still fueling. Size 4 fuel scoop. You could go with a 5. But that would mean stepping down to a 4 Guardian booster, which honestly doesn't lose you much. I think it's less than a light year. I'd have to look. It's not a terrible loss. And if you're in more of a hurry than I generally am, maybe the fuel scoop size up is worth it. If I'm in a hurry to get things done, I'm in a Mandalay or a Caspian, not a Kestrel. But where's the fun in exploring in things that are meant to be explored in? Way more fun in the Kestrel. Losing my touch. Didn't honk again. Hey, there might be a... Oh, this is a fuel star. So if there is a stratum about, it's green. I'm oh so tired of the green ones. That is what I've made the mission tonight, for those of you just coming in. Other than continuing my evaluation of the Kestrel as an explorer, which it's actually pretty good at, all things considered. I would like to find a not green stratum. Preferably a not green Tectonicus, but I'll take what I can get. So we are scouring the non-main sequence star systems, trying to find one of those. Their color is determined by the star type they're in orbit of, and for all of the fuel scoopable stars, it's some variant on the color green. So if you want to find a stratum Tectonicus in a different color, you gotta go with non-sequence stars. Including Herbigs. There's one color that only occurs in orbit of a Herbig, which is just odd. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Not very well lit, though. I hate it when I find a good-looking gas giant, and then I get that urge to go take a screenshot. There's a lot of gas giants in this system. I get the urge to go take a screenshot, and then there's no lighting over there. It just kind of ruins my day just a little bit. Oh, see, that's like that last one I did, only without the rings. I'd love to know what that one looks like, but it's way too far away. I watch one of these will be a green gas giant. I'll have just completely missed it because it's dark. The great fear of all gas giant hunters is to find one that's either boring or too dark to see. Alright. Gee, many Christmas. There really are a lot of giants in this system.
System scan complete.
Just out of curiosity, what does that system map look like? Yeah. That should work just fine. If you have a non-main sequence star as the secondary star and it's in orbit of the secondary, in theory, that should work, yeah. That's quite the collection of gas giants we got there. Horrible for colonization. Wait a minute. Oh, those are moons. Okay, I was like, how do you have surface slots on a gas giant? I'm zoomed all the way out, so I didn't see the moons. There's some pretty ones in there. It's a shame they're all so poorly lit. That looks like a star. It is a star. That one's really wild. Pretty magenta. None of them green and glowy, though. It's a shame. That would make a kick-ass marble. I'd be really mad when I lost it. That would make a cool marble.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, some of them were brown dwarfs. But as far as I'm aware, it should work out with the secondaries. Take a gander here and see if Cannon has anything to shed on that. Cannon doesn't specify whether it is the primary star of the system that it's in that determines it, or the star it's orbiting that determines it. I would think, though, that if you had a case of one orbiting a secondary star, that should work. Some of them do. Some of them are really blatantly green gas giant. Like Pink Haze is pretty, but it is admittedly pretty subtle. Let's just go in and look at some of the examples here. Excuse me. If there is one, come on now. Give me what I'm after. There we go. Yeah. So some of them are really obnoxiously, undeniably a green gas giant. Having one with the very light streaks of like magenta in it, like Pink Haze, that's actually a really subtle one. Most of the ones out there are a lot louder. Later, Pete. Thanks for joining me. Always a pleasure to have you around, sir. Did I scan everything? Nothing to scan. Yes, it did.
Frameshift drive charging.
Whoa. Buddy says I missed something. Buddy was right. All rocky or icy, apparently. You know, I never thought I'd be a codex hunter. I knew those crazy people existed when I got into exploration. Just never thought I'd become one. I have truly been out in the black too long. The space madness is setting in. I'm definitely not going to try and fill out every entry for every region. Those people truly are off their rocker. But I will happily pick one oddball thing to chase until I find it, and then pick a different one, irrespective of territory.
Frameshift drive charging.
I would prefer the route be a higher proportion of non-sequence stars, but unless I hand plot one, it's probably not going to work out. And I'm probably not going to go to the sea mollusks in this ship, I can tell you that. It's got an awful lot of jumps to go. I don't know, maybe. 46 isn't that bad. Because theoretically, I could finish jumping over there tomorrow. If not Tuesday. And Tuesday's my day off, so I've got plenty of time then. I can definitely make the science waypoint before Thursday, which is kind of the important bit. So maybe I will just stay in this and not turn around later. Oh yeah, we're in a scoopable system. Got all excited because I saw high metal contents in the spectrum down there. And then I remembered they will only contain disappointing green blobs of money. Wow, that was a first world statement if ever there was one. Oh, I can't have that. I can't sample that plant. It's all green. It's just money. Yeah, sometimes. I'll be really sad if it does, but as long as I've made the sea by then, I should be able to, like, play darts with it and maybe hit it on a jump. It is Distant Suns, though, and sometimes he books it, and sometimes he takes his sweet time. I have a feeling, though, he'll be booking it. Okay. That's a rocky. It does have sulfur dioxide. The gravity is of the correct range, so there could be a stratum there. We're going to go scan that and see. It'll still be a green one, because we're still in a scoopable star. Ooh, maybe not. Hey, this might be a chance to prove your theory, Trink. We may have stumbled upon a bit of science here. I don't know, they're all around the primary. Never mind. I was hopeful. Where am I going? A9. Damn gremlins. Always untargeting that which I desire to be targeted. Welcome back, Delta. You've missed half a dozen noob loops, some of them multiples on the same attempt. And Streamlabs is still working. You guys want to go see a guy that only almost dies, go check out Delta. It is remarkably entertaining, because he always gets like this close, and then somehow avoids it altogether, without a scratch. It's absolutely amazing. That hologram of that planet is wild. I did it again. I swear, I just looked up and it was like 30 or 40 seconds. Yeah, at least I'm in a Kestrel. I see Streamlabs hates me again. No big shock to the world there. Oh, maybe not. I absolutely detest this. Why on earth anybody thought it was a good idea to code YouTube chat to only show top chat? Especially to the streamer. Like, I get it for viewers, but for the streamer, show me all the messages. Quit screwing around. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That is true. Your streams are nothing if not organized chaos in the very best way. Hey, while you're in here, and I didn't want to publicize this in the Discord, but and it is permissioned set up this way. I don't know if you're aware of it though. Senior officers can jump the carrier. I didn't jump it, but it does give me the option to push the big red button. It also leaves me the option to nope, that's where I just was. I can also adjust the budget allocation, but I can't do commodity setting, which I feel like would be the most useful thing senior officers would need to do. So maybe next time you're in, take a peek and see if... Oh, Recepta! I've never scanned a Recepta, ever. Let's go. Not what I wanted, but still very, very cool. But maybe look and see if there's a way to give senior officers permissions to set the commodity market, because for colonization that will be as equally useful as jumping the carrier. I'm going to go see this planet in natural light.
Orbital flight engaged.
Oh, Delta, while you're here also. Trank had a question I didn't have the answer to. Maybe you know the answer. When you are the carrier owner, regardless of what's installed, do you have access to repair, refuel, and rearm? I know you get shipyard and outfitting, but when I bought my carrier, I bought those 3 anyways. Hang on. I gotta turn on the night vision first to make it authentic. Oh, I don't like that. We're gonna turn it off. Now let's make our approach. At least this ship's the right shape for it. I mean, if I hit like I did in the Asp in this thing, it's gonna be like a dart just plowing into the dirt. Yeah, I couldn't remember either. I thought maybe you or Andy might be more aware. Shelly! Welcome in. I honestly don't remember if I set a command up for you or not. Let's not do that. Let's do that. There we go. You guys should also check out Shelly. She just hit 500. She's been over there playing Apex. It's going. I'm out evaluating a combat ship in a non-combat role, decidedly. I'm out here exploring in a jet fighter for all intents and purposes. Oh, those are wild looking. What's the range on those? 150 meters. This is going to be a cakewalk.
Landing gear deployed.
If I can get on the ground. Try that on a Caspian. Apparently I did not set that command up, Shelly. If Delta's about, maybe he can grab a link and throw it in there. First football. Oh, these are really weird. I've never played Mario. I had a Switch for about 3 months and I sold it. Because it just sat in its dock and I hardly ever played. I think I played some Ark Survival Evolved on it. Was disappointed that it was not the experience of playing it on a computer. And then it just kind of sat there. Vibes we got. We got all the vibes. Sometimes we have faces full of planets when we crash, too. Those are fun. Thanks, Delta. Appreciate it, brother. I'll have to remember to go ahead and add one. Now, if I get lucky, I'll be able to do the one on the left of these and the one on the far right of that group. See, this is why they need to give us ship interiors we can walk around. You hear this guy breathing hard? He gets out and he walks, you know, 1 football field, just a light jog, and he's been sitting in that seat so long, he just sounds like me. He needs to get out and do some more cardio. Woof, 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 woof. Mine said hi earlier. She came over to greet the stream, and despite being plenty tall, just refused to get quite high enough to get herself in frame. She knows I'm a mailman. That's what it is. I'm telling you, dogs know. They all know. She can smell it through the screen. Well, it ain't Stratum, but it is 65 million credits. Not mad about that at all. And it was a new find. Very cool. Those are really cool looking. What am I doing? I need to get a screenshot. Oh, no. Come on. There we go. I think this is a carbon dioxide atmosphere. Because that's got that dark, dark, deep blue. What say you, exploration buddy? Thin sulfur dioxide. Close. Close, but no cigar. Very nifty. Those are kind of metallic looking, too. Huh. Never seen them. Closing out 500,000 light years. Never seen them. Can't say that anymore. Now I gotta pony up and say I found them. It is a pretty blue. Especially when you're like facing towards the sun, it just, the gradient's nice too, right? Like it's very Earth-like, which makes sense. Except for the like tinge of green that it's got going on, which I think is partly what makes that blue so nice looking. It's hard to tell. Oh, come on, dude. You need to do some laps down at the track, bud. Should not be out of breath from that little jog. I actually figured out what that is, because I've been noticing that a lot lately. And the nitrogen does look Earth-like. Which makes sense, right? I mean, our atmosphere is like 70% nitrogen. But when they did the Kestrel update, they did tweak a bunch of the on-foot sounds. You'll notice the footsteps. They sound a little different. Some of the guns they tweaked, and I think they tweaked the heavy breathing, because I don't remember it being that obnoxious. Which I guess if you're in a, in an Operation CZ, whatever those are going to look like, I guess it would be advantageous to realize you're out of stamina. They don't give us a bar or anything, just the breath on the helmet. I am not going to hunt down the bacteria. I made my money. I got what I came for. Got places to go. Oh, that's neat. I cannot wait to get this thing into combat. Yeah, exactly. Low gravity, and he's still over here huffing and puffing. He needs to turn up his grav boots. He's got them set too low. This does have a really stable SCO. Since we're heading to a fuel star, I'm just gonna pop it in and let it go. Hands off the controls, so we'll see how bad the wobble gets. It doesn't overheat. It does warm up. And if you look down at the fuel gauge, it's sucking back fuel at a pretty reasonable pace. I wouldn't want to go more than about 200,000 light seconds with it, I don't think. And still keep fuel to jump with, but it does scream. We're doing, 7,600 times the speed of light, so on par with the Cobra 5, which is not too shabby at all. It does get around, though. And I mentioned at the beginning of stream, if you're just joining us, they made a really big deal about the agile thrusters and the vertical boost maneuvering in the laterals. You can do that without those thrusters. I don't know if it's just the ship. I mean, I know in other ships, if you boost and you've got like full vertical thrust set, you do boost up as well as forward. It's definitely done that forever, not since the new update. But even without the Mark II thrusters, this thing would be really hard, I think, to get a bead on and keep. It's very maneuverable. Yeah, it's pretty steady. I don't think it's the most rock solid. The Cobra 5 does pretty good, but it's on par with it. It might honestly just be modeled after the 5. I was about to just wander off and start doing the exploration thing, and I need fuel. And I'm going too fast to line up to get fuel. There we go. I have not tried with the Mark II thrusters, because I don't have any. And I'm cheap, I bought the standard, right? What I have tried, I've got 4Ds on there right now. I have a set of 5A, I want to say they're grade 4 dirty drag drives. And it does absolutely scream. I can't imagine putting the Mark II thrusters on there, grade 5 dirty drag. That would be... I've read and heard that you should probably start with just the thrusters and then engineer to grade 3 drag drives and see how that feels, and once you get used to that, step it up to 5. And I'm just lost in the sauce. It has been mentioned that a lot of people started at grade 5 and didn't like them. And some people that are a little more into combat said start at 0, move up to 3, and then move up to 5 and kind of step your way into it. It is very snappy, though. And I'm not a big flight assist off guy. I can't imagine if you're a flight assist off pro, this thing's gonna be like flying a circus act. Cirque du Soleil in space. Delta has sold 2,200 of the platinum. Hey, brother, don't knock it. You've got almost a full carrier of plat. If it's still going to give you the bonus, take it. That sounds to me like fleet carrier funding. And Panthers. We can stock some Panthers in there for peeps to borrow out. The Burrs did say not to use it on VR. Somebody else I watched, or no, it wasn't somebody I watched. It was on Lave Radio. Alec Turner. He said he had used it in VR and had no issues. So, mixed bag. I haven't tried it yet. For no particular reason. I've been playing a lot of flat screen lately. I may do that though. I may actually I might do that right after stream. I may just throw the headset on and see how that works. I kind of took a break because I was not feeling great last week. And obviously putting the VR headset on, especially if you're already kind of queasy, is not the most intelligent thing to do. I don't generally have an issue with VR sickness, but I figured I had better not encourage it, if you know what I mean. Last thing I want to do is have a bad experience that sticks in my head, because then then you'll have kind of a placebo effect going forward. And I enjoy it way too much to let something like that ruin the experience. I can patiently wait a few days. But now that you've said it, I gotta try it. You're right. I want to know. And the cockpit's fairly good. Now, I will say, one thing I have noticed about the cockpit, if you are somebody who really likes your bobbleheads, they're going to get in the way. I had to move my Mars because it was in the way. Mars or Venus, I can't remember which one I have. I have one of the red planets. And I usually have it up front so I can watch it bounce and wiggle around when I hit the boost. And it was coming up through one of the HUD elements in the way, like enough that I had to move it because it was causing a problem.
System scan complete.
So it is clear down here now. Barely moving. But if you put it in one of the forward slots, it's in the way. Actually, I can show that without too much fuss. Yeah, I get the feeling we're going to need it in the squad bank. Let's see. No, stop it. One of these days, I'm going to lose my patience and I'm going to get one of the joystick emulators and just set it up. Because the X56 is so bad about ghost inputs. Let's stick it there. That should be very inconveniently placed, if I remember right. And if you're watching and you need a squadron, we're always taking people. If that goes through, we are the Delta Flyers, and we have a private group you can join. Okay, that must not have been where I had it, because that's not bad. It was coming up through, I think I actually had it all. See where the plan is? That ended up really strangely. It was coming up through my, my ship hollow there on the right-hand side. Yeah, it's what I've looked at setting up was joystick gremlins specifically, and I haven't done so yet. If you need a squad, though, there you go, folks. Delta Flyers. We do pretty regular events. We got a pretty active community, getting more active as time goes on, and we have generally a good time over there. I mean, we've got to deal with Delta over there. He's a little goofy, but if he's the worst we got, we can. What is happening? Joystick gremlins. Stop it. There we go. Elite and its control persnicketyness. Do the so now that you've said that, Delta, that makes me wonder, because I've looked at getting those joysticks. That specifically the stick you have and the larger throttle. Do they have an issue with ghost inputs, or do you just use joystick gremlin as a course of how you do things? Or did you find you needed it to eliminate a problem? Because I really would like to upgrade to VKBs once these wear out. I've already kind of lost the tension on my throttle, so it would be the first to go. The stick itself's still in pretty good nick, but get to 10 billion first. I bought my carrier at 6.5 billion, and I made it work. I'm not recommending that course of action, especially in Colonia, but it can be done. But Delta's not wrong. More cash is always better. Ah, that makes sense. Which is wild because the X56 has got, it's like 280 possible inputs or something. Because it registers, like I've got, what have I got? 3, 6, 7, 7 actual physical switches, never mind all the swizzle sticks on the damn thing. And it recognizes short and long presses for all of those. I am going to miss the knobs, because I use the tuning knobs for FSS, and I've got it set to absolute tuning, so if I crank the knob all the way one way or all the way the other, I get full spectrum coverage. And eventually I've gotten pretty good muscle memory to know like where I want to land. So I will miss those when I switch for sure. Whew. Yeah, I need to put together an AX ship. I have not done anything in that arena, so I haven't unlocked like the Guardian weapons or any of that stuff. That's going to be a grind, but I definitely want to give it a try. Use a cutter for AX work? That's wild. The rebuy makes sense now, though. If I build one out, it will most likely be a chieftain. Just because I'm not going to grind out anything like a cutter. Although I guess I could do a crate. I'm fairly well versed in the crate. Mostly the Phantom, but the 2's just a little slower and heavier, right? Oh, he's a Duke in the Navy. Well, as a Chief Petty Officer for the Feds, sir, I'm not calling you sire. Don't make me go make Rear Admiral. Which I have actually thought about doing. I've been away from the grind long enough. I think I could go back and tackle the rest of it and unlock the Corvette. Oh, see, now I don't know. If Hunt enjoys the Chieftain, I might have to go a different direction. I don't know why more people didn't use a fast for it. I'm sure there's a reason,
Complete.
because it seems like every video out there about AX shipbuilding says Crate Mark II or Chieftain. There's really no in-betweens. So I'm curious as to, unless it's just that they don't want to recommend something you have to rank grind for, which I get. I mean, it is kind of miserable. He'll also accept Sir. Whoo! Well, sir, I'm currently reporting to a different Rear Admiral. I'm assessing the Kestrel Mark II for non-combat purposes. Can't remember the guy's name. What was his name? Rear Admiral Simmons. You'll have to talk to Simmons, sir.
Scan complete.
At ease. Yeah, Delta is a double agent. How can you be an Imperial Duke and a Rear Admiral? Somebody's double dipping. I am slightly annoyed that there are no Alliance ranks. Because if there were a faction in the game that I wanted to put time into and would have been willing to rank grind just for like my own RP, it would have been the Alliance. And yet they have nothing to offer except some free ships. Don't get well, not free, but rankless ships. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the hell out of them for that. My first combat ship was a Chieftain. I hope this jump leads to fuel. It does. Oh, the next 4 are fuel stars. Well, that's disappointing. Someday I'll find a non-green stratum. Don't know when. So have you looked at the upcoming waypoints, Delta? We've got some fairly interesting stuff coming up. Hello, you gorgeous twin sons. I would look on the website because they go into quite a bit more detail with better pictures too of the different potential points of interest around the route this time. And there's some neat stuff. I think you're going to be hard pressed not to visit at least one of them. The one I am heading for has a bunch of the metallic shards, as I understand it, and the sea mollusks. And then I'm going to join the science carrier and probably ride out the end of the week. I did end up taking a big colony after I said I wasn't going to. It's got like 40 slots, and I've got big dreams. Big dreams in a mostly empty Panther Clipper. This is not going to end well. Have you claimed your system yet, Drank, over there for Dana? So you had to outfit an AX cutter just because. And as the pilot would say, it's bold of me to assume you use the same cutter for all of the AX combat, right? I mean, honestly, though, if you've got one set up for it, I would use it because they've obsoleted everything else the cutter was good at. You're not going to mine in it anymore. God help you if you choose to haul in it. So I suppose if you've got one engineered and ready to go, you might as well shoot some Thargoids with it. Ah. Yeah, I noticed you hadn't claimed your. I ended up in the one next to yours. Uh, and I don't think it can be an emporium, but it certainly had an awful lot of potential. I think I might go mostly refining. That fits Astrid's story. She likes to mine and refine. Ah, there you are. Boy, that's a dim one. Alright, now where's this last time? Oh, it's probably in this orbit. The only downside to doing FSS with the joystick is you're kind of tied to the sensitivity, and that's all she wrote. Oh, well, that would explain why I didn't find it, huh?
System scan complete.
I don't miss laser mining. I don't. I spent so many arcs making my Python look cool. It's got the extraction kit and
Frameshift
a
drive
couple of
activated.
paint jobs, but honestly, I'm not that mad that I can't mine it anymore. The T11's it's pretty hot for mining. It's hard to beat. You have separate cutters for all activities. See? That's the kind of space billionaire. See, that is the kind of money Delta One comes from. Multiple cutters for different things. It's no wonder he turned out the way he did. Oh, what a handful. And cue joke about natural lights and planets in 3, 2, 1. Now, I will give you that. It wasn't as messy. And if you needed to go in and alter your filter, it was way easier to nail something down. With the T11, God help you. I have figured out how to do it. What you need to do is shut off the limbic controllers, shoot a rock, and then go in and select things before anything's being collected and moved around. It's way easier. But if you're mid-stride and you haven't set up your material filters and you're pulling in crap you don't want, it is whack-a-mole of the worst kind. Absolute Thargoid devil magic. I think the codex actually tells you what you've made and spent. It might break it down by category. I can't remember. Oh, that's a deep cut. He went for the brandy instead of the natural light that time. Oh, it hurts. It hurts my soul. I don't know what you're talking about. The brandy is safe. It's right there in the cargo hold, right where it ought to be. Nothing to see here. Certainly no planets I've crashed on. Well, that was quick and clean after I finally got it tuned in. Like I said, I'm going to clip that and make it a short. It's too good not to. Yeah, I'm just happy as a lark, full steam ahead, right at the planet. Oh, let's see it in natural light. Click. Oh shit. I was okay. I was really okay with it until I got to the rebuy screen and saw Lost Cargo, 1 ton Lavian Brandy. That was what broke me. I was okay with the embarrassment of wrecking a ship. Fine with that. Haven't done it out this far from the bubble. I was mildly upset about that, but I could live with it until the brandy. The brandy was the straw.
System scan complete.
So for your system trank, you can put an outpost there. It won't hurt anything, but it's not optimal. That's kind of the scenario there. Because you have 3 slots above that world. One is the primary. If you put an outpost there, you can only put bigger stations in the other 2. Now you could offset it by putting a Coriolis in the second slot and, a farm in the third or something. And you've got the I think it has a water and an earth-like, doesn't it? If it has both, they'll both build out the same way if you want them. They can both be done for agriculture.
Frameshift drive charging.
It just comes down to the amount of output. If you could, ideally, what you would want to do is put a tier 3 in that. So not even a Coriolis, but an Orbis or an Acellus, and then stack space farms below it. That would be the best outcome. Hell of a lot more work. And it's also your first system. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, so if it's got the Earth-like, you could actually do both. That's what I would do. Just for educational purposes, I'd put the outpost in, claim the system. That'll take up that primary spot, and then under the Earth-like, once you've got everything established and you're not on a timeline, try an Acellus and the space farms, and you'll see the difference the population makes. That is in itself a whole community night, though. Building one Acellus would easily, like, we need to have 6 or 7 people hauling both squad carriers there, and it's still going to take probably 2 hours of trucking. Maybe 3. It's a lot of material. Biggest thing I've built solo, I think, is the asteroid base. Of course, I did do most of that Coriolis by myself. Andy came in with 14k of CMM with his carrier to help me get it done on time. But the rest of that, I jumped 5 jumps per trip to get it there. I'm proud of that. I was space trucking the old way. Well, I was in a Panther, so it wasn't the old way, but I was doing it without carrier support. And that was... honestly, that felt pretty good. Sometimes running back and forth between the carrier can feel like even more of a grind, because you're making short trips, it's just a lot of docking and retargeting, and at least when you're doing a couple jumps in between, you kind of, you stop, you hit the star, you wonder, is a pirate going to get me? Because you got to get fuel. Maybe. I originally, when I made the first probably 10 or 20 trips, I was scooping all my fuel too. I wasn't even buying fuel. And with the size, like 4 scoop on a Panther Clipper, there's no way. I had to stop that nonsense. Even my goofiness has its limits. Missed one. What did I miss? Get in there. Thank you. Icy body. Another marble. I'm kind of over the blue gas giants at this point. Unless they're the white ones with, like, the blue variegation in them. Or if they're, exceptionally pretty. What do we got here? It's argon. It's the right gravity, the wrong star. So not what I'm looking for. It's going to take some time to memorize the criteria for a non-main sequence stratum.
System scan complete.
Oh, that's thin argon. What did I say? Oh, no, I said it was argon. Losing my marbles. That's the way it goes there, right? It's all this gray hair. I'm getting older. First things to go is your memory. Luckily, my sense of humor is well intact. In hyperspace, can't look. 37 jumps to go. Jiminy Christmas. I get the feeling I am going to be jumping a lot tomorrow. Hopefully I make it to the sea tomorrow. I would like to be able to stream from there Tuesday. But I also need to make the science waypoint probably by Tuesday evening. Or at least be within an hour of getting there Wednesday. Because I don't want to be caught left out there trying to chase down a carrier in this thing. It makes an okay explorer, but it's not a great distance traveler. I mean, I guess it could be. It's a matter of willpower, right? I did the Outlander, and I had like 32 light years on the Sidewinder, so that was 23,000 light years. It's also like 300 some jumps. A lot of work. Man, these are really packed in there. I think there's another asteroid belt stuck in there somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Jiminy Christmas. I'm still not done. I feel like that's awful packed for only 13,000 light seconds. Am I reading that right? Is it 13 or 130? It's 13, yeah. Those must actually be really close together over there then. Either that or perspective's just playing hell with my eyeballs here.
System scan complete.
Kind of curious now. What a mess. What the hell is this? So the giant is orbiting the main, and then the secondary is orbiting the tertiary. The pair of them are orbiting the main. Go home, Stellar Forge. You're drunk. Very drunk. What a configuration. Wild. It's always fun to find stuff like that. Once you've kind of seen all the big ticket items, that's what you're left with, is that kind of weirdness. But that's okay, because there's plenty of it. There's that, there's helium-rich gas giants, there's green gas giants, there's the mythical helium-rich green gas giant, water giant with water-based life, Raxla. Oh, it's not the system. Plus all the oddities. Ooh, I need to throw that up in the Discord. I keep forgetting. So, way back when, on the start of DW3, I went and did some AI scraping and put together a stellar scavenger hunt. And it's mostly rare things. Some of them you're not going to find. Like there's a binary neutron system with nothing else in it. There's only one known example of that in the game that has been found. So finding another one, the odds are pretty low. But it's a list of 25 of the rarest discoveries you can make in Elite Dangerous. Some of them are attainable, some of them are just fun to read and go, yeah, right, maybe. But I keep forgetting to throw it up in the Discord. Because originally we were going to use it as a competition. But I really don't, like, I think we were, like, talking 14 days, that's not enough. I feel like it's really more fun if we just throw it up and let everyone have at it and see what we can find by the end of DW. Or not. If you're not out on DW and you're in the squad, you know, this could also be done from around the bubble. In fact, that would be advantageous. The neutron example I mentioned is in Colonia, so you're closer to it than we are. Yeah, I'll throw it up after I get after we're done here. I've got it. I just keep forgetting to type it up and throw it in there. I mean, it's typed up and ready to go. I could upload it. I just was gonna type up a brief word of explanation. It will be a lot of fun though. It's a lot of the things on that list are things I keep in the back of my head that I would like to find anyways. So it does make for a neat galactic have I found this checklist. This is an L star. These have all been ices. I need a rocky body here. And you're not going to give it to me, you dirty dog. I am trying to find not boring stratum, and you're not helping. Not helping my cause at all. The gods of Elite are not smiling on me today. The odds may not ever be in my favor. I can't believe we got 58 people in here tonight. Thanks for spending your time with me, guys. If you are enjoying yourself, do hit the like button. Helps me get noticed, lets me know you enjoyed it. And it doesn't cost you anything, more importantly. All the best things in life are free. Come on, rocky body. Daddy needs a new stratum. Watch it, every one of these is going to be icy. Or rocky ice. Or I'll get a rocky, and it'll just be the wrong atmosphere. There is a reason I don't play the lottery. That's because I would never win. My luck, I'd win, and it would turn out to be a fraudulent ticket sold by the gas station or something.
System scan complete.
Yeah, as advertised. Bunch of boring ice balls.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, I heard it. Now I'm not going to be able to unhear it for at least a week. If you've never hit Super Cruise or gone into Witch Space and heard Friendship Drive charging instead of Frame Shift, you're welcome. You'll hear it for at least a week. Oh, I'm getting low on fuel.
System scan complete.
And it wasn't even worth it. How do you like that? Are you a fuel star?
Frameshift drive
No.
charging.
Route plotter, you're trying to kill me. Honestly, I don't appreciate it all that much. What did I ever do to you? was heading to go south in a hurry.
Frameshift drive charging.
I will say, when I build out a Kestrel with all the engineering available, I'm not going to do deep charge. That is true. I'm exploring all kinds with my Kestrel now. I'm having a great time in it. Fuel tank's a little light in the loafers. I could stand to have a fuel tank on here. Question is, what would I replace? I think if I were building it out and I had everything available and not just the scraps I have on the carriers for DW, I would skip the repair limpets, I would skip the cargo, I'd put a shield on, and probably another fuel tank. Or a second AFMU, one of the two. I hardly ever use my AFMU, so I know there's purists out there that think you always need two. I'm just not one of them. One has always done me fine, because the reality is, if you're damaging your AFMU, running into exclusion zones, you're damaging your power plant at roughly the same rate, and you can't repair that. So it doesn't matter if your AFMU is too busted to work. I mean, I guess you could repair, reboot, and get around it that way, but if I'm getting anywhere near that kind of territory, I'm headed for a DSSA carrier to repair anyways. Alright, continuing on. Now you want to give me a fuel star. What a dick. Oh, it was reading the one I'm in. I take back what I said then. Probably ought to scan this before I take off, though. Welcome in, Palgoat. I referred to your comment and didn't welcome you in. Apologies. How are you this evening? I assume you're playing with the Kestrel on the side too, based on your comment, maybe? I am on a side quest to find a non-green stratum, because I'm just tired of looking at green ones. There's nothing wrong with them. They make good money. They're pretty. I'm just tired of green. I am of the opinion every ship can explore. We had a guy on the last expedition I went out on take a T9. We're not sure he was all there, but he seemed to be having a good time. I'm also certain he took something that jumped better than a T9. I think he was just showing up to the in-game events on T9s. We had some T8s too, but that was not long after they released, and they were having some issues getting their SRV out sometimes. It was a bit low to the ground when it first came out. Oh, missed one. Missed a couple. See, I think this is why I don't know that I've ever scanned a stratum of a different color. Because they're all going to be in non-main sequence, and there's just... you mostly get icy bodies in non-main sequence stars. And I need a Rocky. They're out there. I'll find one. I'll find one long before I find Raxel. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe it's out there. Maybe it's right in front of us and we've just missed it. Maybe it really is just the friends we've made along the way. thing is so maneuverable, it's just goofy. You shouldn't be able to flip around like that in Super Cruise. It's just... Oh, this is going to be so fun in combat. I can't wait to get back and play with it. More icy bodies. This is like... I wanted to say I was barking up the wrong tree, but the problem is I'm barking up exactly the right tree. There's just no squirrel in it. Or fox, or whatever else you tree with a dog.
System scan complete.
Need some tunes. Okay, that's a little loud. Guess I should have left it alone. I had it right the first time.
Frameshift drive charging.
I still haven't repaired that hull. That happened in like the first 10 minutes of this stream. And I'm just running around with a 97% hull.
Fuel scoping.
Oh, that's why, because I didn't bring any lipids. I'm not going to send them just to use one and have the other three slowing me down. 97% will do just fine. I don't hear any hissing noises yet. And this really isn't terrible, even with the size fuel scoop it's got. I suppose I could swap it around and put a 5 scoop on and a 4 frame shift booster, but I really don't mind. I mean, what was that for a full fill up, basically? A minute? Less than? I'm just not that bothered by it. That said, when I'm really buckyballing trying to get somewhere, I do appreciate just scooping on the arc and being done. It is nice. But when I'm out here smelling the roses, I don't mind so much. I got time. I do not have limpets. I don't worry about bringing them for repair purposes, because I know I've got plenty of materials to send them. Yeah, I've got 20 reloads. So, in effect, I have 80 limpets. I just don't have them out. But it's not really worth it to put them in there, because they're just going to lower my jump range. And for 3% hull, I'll live with it. Now watch me hit a planet and do exactly 97% hull damage. That's my kind of luck. Well, maybe we can make an easy 100 mil here, I guess. Maybe. Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full. Oh, but it wasn't the only one. There's still hope. That's terraformable. I'll take it. quite what I was looking for, but I'll take it. I think we're going to go about 20 more minutes here. I do have to work tomorrow. But I will for sure be streaming sometime Tuesday. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to that planet. Those damn gremlins. Somebody at the joystick factory fed them after midnight. Now they're causing all kinds of problems. Alright, I'm guessing by your comment, Delta, you're done selling. What was the haul, brother? Or are you referring to the Tuesday stream? I guess that could also be it. Fair enough. Especially with all the cargo running we've been doing, and you did quite a bit more. I see, I was looking at the market earlier on Intrepid. It seems to have some things in it now, so I'm guessing you filled it up too. Ah. Yeah, I think I'm going to settle into Tuesdays and Sundays. That makes the most sense for me.
Surface scanned by 50%.
That keeps me out of your way, and it keeps me off of our community time. Well, nothing else to see here. Yeah, wrong one. That's the right one. Oh. Just set the buy order. Yeah, that's okay too. I mean, we got people that want to get in and haul. I know there's 2 new guys that were popping in the Discord last night were mentioning they might. They didn't actually talk. Like, they popped into voice when they were just listening in. They were doing all their chatting in the live channel text chat, so maybe they're a touch mic shy. That's alright, it happens.
System scan complete.
Come on, money. Yeah, no, see? No lottery for me. I know I can, and I might on occasion, as a random. I prefer if I'm in voice hanging out with the community, I'd rather be focused, especially if it's new people. I'd rather be focused on interacting with them and not trying to manage the stream at the same time, too. Yeah, no, 100%. I wasn't really sure at first. One of them muted right off the bat, and I figured that's what he was doing, but the other guy didn't mute.
System scan complete.
And I don't know if his mic sensitivity was set wrong or what, because we were just getting little chirps and snips and stuff like that. So I wasn't sure if he was trying to talk and just had his settings screwed up, or had no intention of talking. It was just having some noise pop through. But we ended up talking in text chat. They were okay. A couple more Euro guys for the crowd on Sunday. They did offer to come in and do some hauling. So I gave him the system and all that good info. I also approved an application earlier. I didn't recognize the name. Said he was from YouTube, so I assume he's one of your viewers. And I figured out the expired thing because my roommate finally expired. So I'm guessing that an approved application that isn't accepted by the applicant eventually expires. So I went ahead and deleted the 2 expireds because there's nothing else you can do with them. So they're out of the queue now. But that does explain what was going on with that. Oh, he accepted. He's gone. Who was he? Hunt him down here. Now I'll never remember. Okay. Link's Aeon. He said what his YouTube handle was, but I can't remember. I would very much guess he's one of your viewers, though. Yeah, that's kind of why I said when he went expired, it was like, oh, thank God, now we know. You know, standard Frontier documentation. Figure it out. When you figure it out, tell us, and then we still won't publish the details. I really feel like the feature reboot is going to be BGS, and it's going to upset an awful lot of folks. Rightly so. I mean, there's people out there that have spent several years refining how to manipulate it and min-max it, and if they're going to go tweaking things in a major way, it's going to break pretty much their entire gameplay loop. Speaking of the Discord, if Streamlabs feels like work, feel free to join us. We don't have just elite players. There's a fair group of people doing No Man's Sky. And I have a Discord set up, but I am not actively inviting people. It's just not where I spend my time. I spend my time right there, hanging out with the Delta peeps. But we got a knowledgeable crew in there, whether No Man's Sky is your thing or elite. Lots of people who know what they're talking about. So, if you want some friendly competition, you can find that. If you need somebody to help you out, you can find that too. Wrong one. There we go. Icy bodies strike again. Oh, is that next weekend? Oh no. No, 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 I'm not ready for that, Drank. I'm not ready for that. I wish they would stop that god-awful nonsense. It screws me up for 2 or 3 weeks every time that happens. So if that is the case, you will not be alone. Both. Just I'm kind of a night person. But the time changes, especially in the spring, really screws me up. I handle the fall better because I can just sleep longer and pretend it didn't happen, but falling or springing forward and losing an hour on the next day is awful. Yep. Ugh. Of all the things Congress could do, I really wish they could all agree for 5 minutes long enough to agree that we don't need to change the time. We live in a modern world. We, in fact, have the electric light. And honestly, if you look at the statistics, like the traffic accidents that go up that week, I get, it's safer to drive in daylight, but I promise you there's more accidents the week of the time change. I have looked at the data. Yeah, kids have that effect. I don't have kids to worry about, but we have pets. And while the dogs will happily sleep in, if the roommate takes off and forgets to feed his cats, they will come down and let me know that they have not been fed, and it is in fact time to be fed, and that they demand food. They will elect a representative, usually the heaviest one, and he will come down and disturb my slumber until such time as I get up and serve them their morning breakfast. Very demanding cats.
Fuel complete.
Sweetest creatures around, though. Well, I can't say that. One of them's kind of an asshole. And he knows he rules the roost, which only makes it worse. That is true. They are germ factories. My mother taught like second, third, fourth grade for about 15 years before she had to give it up for health reasons. And we were all always sick. Because I went to a different school. I was not about to go to the same school my mother taught at. That is a nightmare. I did it once. I would never do it again. But between me bringing home whatever plague was going around the school I was in, or mom or one of my two brothers bringing home whatever plague was going around their school, we were screwed all winter long. Some form of the creeping crud just inhabited us for 4 months out of the year. I'll bet you're glad the missus is home. You can at least go back to shared duty now. I'm sure that was an exhausting weekend, especially with one of them being kind of sickly. It is not an ideal way to have a dad weekend. Let's see, I said cat's too loud. Now one of them's down here prowling. I got nothing for you, Boo Bear. Sorry. I can imagine. Oh, is that a rocky road? Not quite. Still some nice shades of brown, though. Geologicals. I need to do some more mining. Really, I need to find another crystalline shard so I can finish filling up my polonium. There's a lot of biology in this system. I might actually have to poke around on this one. What have I got? 8, 16, 20 biosignals here. Jiminy Christmas. Let's start with the thin ammonia. A2C. Might as well get on the ground. That sounds like a good way to finish up the evening. A little poking around on the planet. Yeah, the dad time's good too. Always good to have a little bonding time. Need to start teaching them how to fly Panther clippers so they can help us offload that platinum. Gotta start them young, man. not gonna noob loop it. Not gonna happen this time. Gonna hit it. First try. Just tap it in. There you go. She's probably almost getting old enough to actually kind of get a grasp on it too, isn't she? We set her up with an Xbox controller and turn her loose. The only problem I have with a HOTAS is you can't just pick 75%. Oh, look at that natural light. That's so pretty. Woo! I shaved it a little close there. Ah, she'll get there. Give it time. Or her kind of with her. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, dude, Mario Kart is the stuff of legends. The hours of my youth wasted in Mario Kart, Mario Party, Smash Brothers, and 007 GoldenEye were in fact not time wasted at all.
Surface scan complete.
I'm gonna go into that crater right there because it looks like nice ripe pickings. I did get awful close to that exclusion. I was pushing my luck for sure. I've thought about getting into buckyball racing, and they do crazy stunts like that all the time to slow down. They'll come in hot SCO, and then they'll flip right up against a planet like that and use the gravity well as a brake. They are nuts. The good old buckyball racing club. I don't have time to keep track of it. I don't have the bandwidth for another elite social activity. We keep ourselves plenty busy. Maybe someday. Oh, look. There's no peak. Imagine that. What is that? Could be Concha. That could be Aleoida.
Landing gear deployed.
It's perfectly flat. What do you mean it's unsuitable? Ah, get out of here. Oh, those are wild looking. I don't know what those are. Some form of tussock I haven't seen in a long time, maybe? Like an aloe plant. I'm gonna bet on Aleoida. Yep. Oh, That's a nice, easy 150-meter one. And a lot easier to dig out than the last one. The last one I had was in the mountains. They made me work for it. Kind of spoiled for choice here. Could have started with bacterium. I'm going to assume that's concha. Though it could be fungoida. Without looking. Oh, that worked out perfectly. This is my kind of gravity. 0.18. This would be a fun place to have an SRV race. It sure would be neat if those patches of bacteria were spaced perfectly 500 meters apart. But they ain't. Is it at least a good one? I mean, it's not a bad one. Touch over 8 mil for that one. On a first footfall, I'll take it. Well, I think I've answered my own question here. I definitely think the Kestrel is a worthwhile exploration vehicle. It's got a nice landing profile. It doesn't have to stilt up to drop your SRV, which means it pretty much always looks just like you see it. And stripped down and kitted out correctly, you can get about 61 light years out of it. I managed 50 with the pieces and parts I had. And it's just fun to fly. It's actually deceptively large when you get up and climb around on it. It is actually physically, I think, larger than the Cobra 5. It just has a smaller landing profile. But I think that's going to wrap us up for the night, folks. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back again doing something on Tuesday. Probably more exploring, I haven't decided. Could be colonization. Depends on what the community we're doing, kind of what we get involved in. So we'll see. Let's see if there is somebody around for me to send you to. Good at game. He's on. He is not playing Elite. What is he playing? Probably Resident Evil. That's what he's been doing. That is what he's doing. So we're going to head over there if you care to go. And yes, as Delta said, thanks for hanging out. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button on your way out the door there. Helps me out, lets me know I'm doing something right or something wrong. It's hard to tell. But let's head over and show some love to Good at Game. There's the link since I can't raid. I'll see you guys over there. Thanks for hanging out.